The Young and the Restless spoilers, Tuesday, full October 14th, 2024. Sally Spectra and Billy Abbott had been crossing paths more frequently these days. Their encounters, once coincidental, had become intentional meetings where they shared the complexities of their current lives. They found solace in each other's company, a mutual understanding that bridged their individual struggles. Adam Newman, however, misread the situation entirely. Observing their growing closeness, he began to suspect that Sally and Billy were becoming an item. One crisp afternoon, Sally and Billy decided to take a leisurely stroll through Chancellor Park. The leaves were beginning to turn, painting the scenery with hues of amber and gold. As they walked along the winding paths, engaged in lighthearted conversation, they unexpectedly ran into Chelsea Lawson and Adam. Chelsea greeted them with a warm but weary smile. "Hey, you two," Chelsea said, adjusting her scarf. "Fancy seeing you here." "Hi, Chelsea." "Adam," Billy responded, nodding. Sally offered a polite smile. "We just came from a therapy session for Connor," Adam explained, his eyes reflecting a mix of hope and exhaustion. "It's been challenging, but we're committed to helping him get better." Sally's expression softened. "I'm glad to hear you're both there for him. Connor's a strong kid." An awkward silence settled over the group. The history between them was complicated, intertwined with past relationships and unresolved feelings. Adam glanced at Sally, his gaze lingering a moment too long. He still harbored deep feelings for her but was at a loss for how to bridge the growing chasm between them. "Well, we should probably keep moving," Chelsea finally said, sensing the tension. "Connor's waiting for us at home." "Of course," Billy replied. "Take care." As Chelsea and Adam walked away, Adam couldn't help but look back over his shoulder at Sally. She caught his eye for a fleeting second before he turned away, his heart heavy with unspoken words. Meanwhile, beneath the surface of Genoa City, a darker drama was unfolding. More and more people were learning about Sharon Newman's shocking actions. The whispers had started softly but were now growing louder. Sharon had killed Heather Stevens and disposed of her body. Diane Jenkins, Chance Chancellor, Nick Newman, and Sharon's own children, Mariah and Faith, were among those who knew her secret. The weight of this knowledge pressed heavily upon them all. Protecting Sharon was becoming increasingly complicated. Chance, torn between his duty as a police officer and his connection to Sharon, struggled with the moral dilemma. Nick wrestled with his instincts to safeguard his ex-wife and the mother of his children while confronting the reality of her actions. Mariah and Faith were perhaps the most devastated. They had watched their mother's descent with a mix of disbelief and sorrow. Sharon's once nurturing and compassionate nature had deteriorated into something unrecognizable. She was erratic, consumed by paranoia, and her behavior grew more alarming each day. "She's not the mother we knew," Faith confided in Mariah one evening. They sat together on Mariah's couch, the room dimly lit. "I don't even know who she is anymore." Mariah sighed deeply. "I keep hoping she'll snap out of it, that this is just some horrible nightmare we'll all wake up from. But it's getting worse." Their fears intensified when news broke that Aria, Mariah's daughter and Sharon's granddaughter, had mysteriously disappeared. Panic gripped the family. They searched frantically, their minds racing with possibilities, none of them good. Nick confronted Sharon at her home. "Sharon, where is Aria?" he demanded, his voice edged with urgency. Sharon looked at him blankly. "She's safe," she replied cryptically. "Away from all the people who want to hurt us." Nick's eyes widened. "What have you done?" "She's a child. Your granddaughter." Sharon's demeanor shifted suddenly. "You don't understand, Nick," she hissed. "They're all against me. Against us. I had to protect her." Realization dawned on Nick. "Are you using Aria to shield yourself? To keep the police at bay?" She turned away, her gaze distant. "They won't take me if I have her." "They can't." Meanwhile, Chance was piecing together the situation. He met with Diane, who had been observing Sharon's unraveling with growing concern. "Diane, we need to handle this delicately," Chance advised. If Sharon has taken Arya, we have to ensure the child's safety above all else. Diane nodded, her face pale. I never thought it would come to this. I knew she was struggling, but kidnapping her own granddaughter. At the police station, the atmosphere was tense. Officers were mobilizing, and an Amber Alert had been issued for Arya. Nick and Mariah pleaded with the authorities to consider Sharon's mental state, hoping to avoid a confrontation that could end in tragedy.
I'll do everything I can, Chance assured her, but we can't let this continue. Arya's life could be at risk. Back at the park, Sally and Billy were unaware of the escalating crisis. They sat on a bench watching as the sun dipped below the horizon. You seemed a bit tense when we ran into Adam, Billy remarked. Sally shrugged lightly. It's complicated. There's a lot of history there. Tell me about it, Billy said with a wry smile. But hey, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. She looked at him appreciatively. Thanks, Billy. You've been a good friend. He hesitated for a moment. You know, people might start to get the wrong idea about us. Sally laughed softly. Let them think what they want. We know the truth. Unbeknownst to them, Adam watched from a distance, his mind swirling with jealousy and regret. Chelsea noticed his distraction. You're thinking about her again, aren't you? She asked gently. Adam sighed. I can't help it. Seeing her with Billy, it just gets to me. You had your chance, Adam, Chelsea reminded him. Maybe it's time to let go. He shook his head. Easier said than done. As night fell, the search for Arya intensified. Police combed through Sharon's usual haunts but found no sign of her or the child. Sharon, in her fractured state of mind, had taken Arya to a secluded cabin outside of town, a place she believed they could be safe from the perceived threats closing in on her. Inside the dimly lit cabin, Arya sat quietly coloring, unaware of the gravity of the situation. Sharon watched her, a mix of love and desperation in her eyes. We'll stay here for a while, Sharon whispered, just until things settle down. Arya looked up. Mommy and Mama will be worried. Sharon forced a smile. I'll let them know you're okay, but for now, it's our little adventure. Back in Genoa City, tensions were high. Mariah and Tessa clung to each other, both imagining the worst. She's out there with our baby, Tessa said, her voice shaking. We have to find them. Mariah nodded determinedly. We will. I won't rest until Arya is back home. Nick and Chance coordinated with the police, providing any information that might lead them to Sharon's hiding place. Faith, feeling helpless, decided to take matters into her own hands. She remembered a place from their childhood, a cabin their family used to visit. Approaching Chance, she said, I think I know where she might have taken Arya. Without wasting a moment, Chance organized a small team to head to the location, ensuring they approached with caution. The last thing they wanted was to escalate the situation. As they arrived at the cabin, Chance signaled for the others to stay back. He moved quietly toward the front door, listening intently. Inside, he could hear Arya's innocent chatter and Sharon's hushed responses. Taking a deep breath, Chance knocked softly. Sharon, it's Chance.